agenda. First, we will cover the history of the circuit breaker testing, where we will see in the earlier days what were the circuit breaker testings were done in the 70s and 80s timing. Then we will just give an overview of the dynamic contact resistance measurement of the circuit breaker. After that, we will generally go through the basic difference between the static contact resistance measurement and the dynamic contact resistance measurement. What is the difference between these two measurements? Following will be the DCRM graph analysis, where we will in detail tell you in each and every point of the DCRM graph that what is the occurrence, what is the circuit breaker state, each and every point of the DCRM graph. After that, we will go to the product, that is the HiSec Ultima. I'll just give an overview of the HiSec Ultima product along with its features and specification. And after that, I'll just explain two case studies which we have done with the help of this HiSec Ultima instrument. And after that, we will have the final Q&A after the presentation. So without any delay, we will start the presentation of today. Now, as I have said that the evolution of CV testing, how it is done in the 70s, 1970s, I am talking about, we generally used to do the circuit breaker timings. And with the help of the timings, we were just evaluating the condition of the circuit breaker. But we were not getting the complete picture with the help of only timing test, because we were only just measuring the timing. We didn't know what was the condition of the operating mechanism of the circuit breaker. In the 80s, I'll say late 80s, we started to do the coil current and the travel traces. So with the help of these two tests, we could understood that what was the condition of the operating mechanism during the operation of the circuit breaker. In the late 80s, after this coil current and travel traces test, we introduced that the CRM, called the main contact resistance measurement test. So with the help of the CRM, we could understood that what was the condition of the main contact during the circuit breaker in closed condition. So in the late 80s, with the help of this CRM invention, first we could understood that what was the condition of the contacts. But along with these tests, timings, coil current, travel traces, and the CRM, still we observed that many HV and extra high voltage circuit breakers were still failing. So what was the condition of, what was the reason behind these failures? Now, as you know that while we are doing the contact resistance measurement, the circuit breaker is generally kept in closed condition. Now, when the circuit breaker is kept in closed condition, we know that the two contacts in between the interrupters, the main contacts and the arcing contacts, both are in closed. Now, we know that the main contact resistance is, the resistance value of the main contact is very low compared to the arcing contact resistance value. Now, because of this, when the circuit breaker is kept in closed condition, now in the CRM, what we do that we inject almost 100 or 200 ampere of current across the circuit breaker. Now, whenever we are injecting this 100 or 200 ampere current across the circuit breaker, the both contacts are closed. The nature of the current is always that it will follow the low resistance path. So in this case, what was the low resistance path? It was only the main contact. So the current was going through the main contact and we were checking the main contact resistance. But with the help of CRM, we could never understand what was the condition of the arcing contact, because we all know that just the arcing contacts are the ones who are protecting the main contacts while a fault is there in the system, because through the arcing contact, the transient current is passing through, the arcing current is passing through. The main contact is the one which is carrying the rated current of the circuit breaker. So the probability of the deterioration of the arcing contact is much times higher compared to the main contacts. So that is why from 80s to 1995, we could understood that it was the arcing contact. It was continuously deteriorating. Because of that, the circuit breakers were failing. Now, in the 1995, with the Association of Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, Scope TNM Private Limited was the first manufacturer who invented this DCRM technology. So in the DCRM technology, we could understand that along with the main contact, what was the condition of the arcing contact specially. So with the help of DCRM, we can understand that both are what was the condition of the both the contacts, not only the main contacts, but main along with the arcing contacts. Now, the worldwide, the measurement was started in 1991. The findings were published in 1997, this DCRM findings. As I've said, in India, as in association with Power Grid, we developed this DCRM product, that is the HiSec Ultima. And the field proving and the product optimization continued till 2002. So in between these 7 years, lots of analysis and lots of case studies were there. So with the help of these case studies and the analysis, DCRM graph analysis, we could understood and we could rectify, we could even predict that what was the condition of circuit breaker with the help of this DCRM signature. So thousands of the extra high voltage circuit breakers have been tested for DCRM and many have been rectified before failure. So this was the main importance of the development of DCRM. Now, if I am going by the conventional definition of dynamic contact resistance measurement, so it is a signature of changing contact resistance of the circuit breaker during closed open operation. Now, it plots the variation in contact resistance, the arcing, and then the main contacts. And again, while the disengaging part, the main contacts will separate first and then the arcing contact. So with the help of during CO operation, we could understand what was the condition of the both the contacts. Now again, it reflects the useful information of the contact conditions in this CO duration. It additionally, DCRM along with the travel operation will give you the prior indication of the deterioration in operating mechanism linkages. Certain mechanical weaknesses which was undetected by the earlier travel measurement can be reflected in the DCRM measurement. So that is why it is very important that you do the travel test while you are doing the DCRM. Along the DCRM and along the travel will not give you the complete picture, but with the DCRM along with the travel will give you the complete picture of the health condition of the circuit breaker. Now, if I'm just observing the difference, that what is the difference between the static contact resistance and the dynamic contact resistance. So I have quite clearly said in the earlier slide, but I'll just give an overview so that it will be very easily understandable to all of you. In both the cases, the measurement technique is same, that is the millivolt drop. We are injecting the current and we are doing the measurement of the voltage. So there is no change in the measurement technology. Now here in static contact resistance, the circuit breaker is kept in closed condition. In case of dynamic contact resistance, the circuit breaker is in closed open operation. Generally in CRM, the static contact resistance value, we are getting the single value. That is, we are injecting the current and we are doing the measurement of voltage and we are getting a single value of static contact resistance. But in this case, while the circuit breaker is in dynamic position, so we are taking the continuous samples of the voltage and current, and along with the V by I, we are getting the resistance of each and every instance of the circuit breaker operation. So we are only having a single value of CRM, but here with the help of continuous samples, we are getting a signature or the graph of both the current and the resistance. The current will be the injected current, that is the 100 ampere current while we are injecting, and the resistance will be based on the condition of the circuit breaker contacts. So this is the basic difference of the CRM and the DCRM. Now, if I am talking about the graph analysis of the DCRM, now this is a very much typical signature of the DCRM. Let me have the pointer here. So yes, this is the standard typical DCRM signature. So here you can see this is the blue line, which is the current signature. The green line, that is the resistance signature, and this is the coil current signature. So we are having two signature, two energization here, two times energization. That is the while closing and again then while the opening of the circuit breaker. Now, if I'm explaining the whole card here. Now, basically, what happens that from here point A, we are doing the closing command. So first, in the CO operation, the closing command is being operated. Now, when the closing command is given to the circuit breaker at point A, the plunger of closing coil operates various valves, and the operating mechanism, that is the operating rod, starts moving upward because the close operation is happening. Now, whenever the operating rod starts moving upward, now here the graph between A to B here, you can see it will indicate the time taken for the actuation of closing coil and the control valve till the movement of operating rod takes place totally in upwards. The time taken between A to B will indicate the proper functioning of various components of the mechanism. Now, from point B to C here, at point B, the operating rod will start moving upward in this position B, which in turn moves the arcing and main contacts in interrupter housing. Now, initially, the arcing contact closes at point C here, where the current is injected. The time taken between B to C, this duration will indicate the healthiness of the operating mechanism during the closing operation. Now, at point C to D here, at point C, the arcing contacts are touching with each other. So here the current injection, first current injection will start to happen. At point C, the insertion of arcing contact has been taken place. The dynamic contact resistance plotted along with the injected current indicates the condition of the arcing contacts. In case of healthy arcing contacts, there will be no abnormal bounces in the resistance values here. Now, at point D, here you can see the main contacts will close and the resistance value automatically gets reduces, because we know the resistance of the arcing contact is quite high here, but at point D, it has already, the main contacts has been closed. So here automatically the resistance is reduced. At point D, main contact will close at the contact resistance reduces further, I have said. Now, however, there may be some bounces at the time of contact touch. So the main contact insertion will continue till point E, where the circuit breaker will be in fully closed condition. That in the point E, the full closure of the circuit breaker will happen. Now, from point E to point F, the settling period is there. That means the delay time between the close and the open. So this is the settling time, where you can see the graph is very much linear here in the resistance. So that is nothing but the current is injected across the main contacts, and we are only having the value of main contacts resistance here. So that is why the resistance value is very less. From point E to F, the circuit breaker remains in closed condition as per the set time delay. Now, during the period, the resistance is almost constant. Here, no bounces you will observe. This period is required for the damping of the vibrations. From point F, at point F, you can see the trip command is extended to the circuit breaker trip coil. The trip coil plunger will actuate the various levers or valves to move the piston of the driving mechanism. The time taken between the F to G here, it will indicate the proper functioning of the various components of opening or tripping assembly. Now at point G, again, when the opening operation will start, the operating rod starts moving here downwards. Till opening, the main contacts at point H, from point G to H, during this position, the moving contacts start gliding by the pull of operating rod. At point H, the main contact is separating with each other, but the arcing contacts are remaining in closed position here. The signature between the H to I indicates the healthiness of the arcing contacts. Any abnormal bounces during this period will indicate the erosion or the misalignment of the arcing contacts from point H to I. Now at point I, the arcing contact separation is happening, and the resistance value you can see, again, it will be very high. The green curve, again, you can see it is very high during the I. That means the opening of the because of the separation of the arcing contacts, the opening of the circuit breaker is happening. That is why the resistance is going upwards here and the current is going downwards. The time taken between the I to J, it will indicate the healthiness of the operating mechanism. So, this is the each instance I explained about the each and every operation, what was happening during the DCRM. So this is how very much you will analysis the DCRM graph. Now you know the regions, and you know that in certain positions the graphs will be abnormal if the circuit breaker is behaving abnormally. But this is the basic DCRM signature. Just you need to compare this signature to your circuit breaker interrupter signature, and you need to understand that what is in what zone my car is having some abnormal readings, or it is abnormally rising the values. Now,
Particularly, here I would like to highlight here that the DCRM is to check the behavior of the circuit breaker. What Aritra said, what Aritra explained. So, in line to that context, I would like to highlight the DCRM measurement is to check the behavior of the circuit breaker while making and breaking. First, engagement of the arcing contact, then engagement of the main contact, then disengagement of the main contact and the disengagement of the arcing contact. With the help of this graph, we can able to measure the contact gap, arcing contact tip length, contact wipe, and whatever Aritra explained, we can able to see the mechanism functioning. That also we can able to operate, we can able to check. So particularly DCRM graph analysis can measure each and every point or parameters about the mechanism, about the contact travels. We can able to take out or find out. Yeah, Aritra, please continue.
yeah, exactly, sir. Thank you for the assistance. And now we will directly go to the product, that is the Hijack Ultima. So here you can see that it is having the trolley mounted setup for the easy portability. Now this unit Hijack Ultima can do all the parameters, can evaluate all the parameters for the testing interrupter. So we can do with the help of Isaac Ultima, we can do the CRN, that is the static contact resistance measurement. We can do the DCRM, that is the dynamic contact resistance measurement, what I've already told you in the earlier slides. Again, with the help of the Isaac Ultima unit, we can evaluate the timing, that is the close timing, opening timing, or you can give close open or open close, or even open close open. So all these commands you can execute with the help of this Isaac Ultima unit. Additionally, you can also understand with the help of DCRM graph the what is the wipe of contact, the fault current, and the arcing time with the analysis of the DCRM graph. While doing the testing of driving mechanism, you can understand what is the total travel, the datum velocity, the default velocity healthiness of the damping mechanism. Additionally, you can also test the control units, and the control unit parameters are such as the coil currents, that is the trip coil and the closed coil currents, the coil voltages, along with the auxiliary contact timing. Now, I am just giving the overview of the